Mario Balotelli has basically confirmed for Liverpool Football Club. My thoughts on it, because I keep getting asked about it. Obviously, my opinion is, like many others, it's a gamble. We know that through past experience, past behaviour. But at the same time, his playing ability, you can't doubt that either. His quality, when he wants to be, that's another issue as well. 24 years old, I mean, at that age, and for 16 million, I'm happy with that. I don't mind a gamble. If it was 20 million plus that we were talking, I'd have an issue. And I think, not even I think, it was a fact that Rodgers came out and said Mario Balotelli will not be a Liverpool player during the pre-season tour. And I think he obviously meant that because he's thinking it's going to be 20 million plus, and to deal with that and to deal with this at that kind of price and all that kind of stuff, it wasn't going to work for him. But at 16 million, and if we're being true, we've gone after a few targets and the window's closing, and it's got to a point where at that price, for that kind of quality, it's worth the risk, worth the gamble. You know what I mean? So you got to think as well, like the previous managers that he's had, in terms of Mourinho, Mancini, Rafa, gaffers like that, they're not the most kind of caring and stuff. You know what I mean? They're not going to put your arm around you and say, like, listen, like Rodgers will. I'm not saying that players should get that, but in terms of man management, you need to know what players you need to put your arm around, what players you need to talk to in a certain way and be aggressive with. You know what I mean? In terms of getting the best out of their playing ability. And I personally think Mario is that kind of, he's still a big kid. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that's right, but to get the best out of him, I think he needs to be loved. You know what I mean? It sounds weird, but, and you think to yourself, he's a big man. But it's true. He's a man at the end of the day. And he's still at a point where I think he needs to grow up a bit and realize what kind of playing ability he has and what opportunity he has. But I think Rodgers can do it. I mean, in the past, with Sturridge, I'm not saying he done the same kind of stuff as, or anywhere to the level of Mario Balotelli, but he had a rep as well with some people about being a bit of a bad apple and stuff like that. And there was a risk about signing him from Chelsea. And look where he is right now. And that's because of Rodgers. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? And then you got to think as well, like with Sterling as well. Sterling had a rep as well. You know, and obviously it was put out there during the documentary and stuff in the US when Rodgers basically told him off and said, listen, he'll send him home and stuff like that. But it just goes to show that Rodgers has got that in him to kind of take someone under his wing. Obviously, we're talking about Mario Balotelli. He's at a different level now than those guys were then. You know what I mean? He's more high profile on the world stage and stuff like that. But I still think the Rodgers approach will be better for him and beneficial to his playing ability than like the likes of his past managers like Mourinho, Mancini, Rafa, etc. So whether he will get the best out of him, it remains to be seen. I personally think that there's a good chance that Rodgers will get the best out of him. And as you know, obviously, Rodgers has dealt with Suarez. I mean, that's hard to handle in itself, you know what I mean? What worries me a bit is the effort that Mario will or won't show. I'm hoping he does. But Rodgers has built something at Liverpool so far, very quickly actually, where you can see everyone works for each other. Like there's a team bond that even on and off the ball. Like off the ball is where you really got to work and put the effort in. When you're on the ball, okay, people want to work. But when you're off the ball, that's when you got to put the kind of real grit into it, because there's no ball involved. You know what I mean? It's not the exciting part. So what worries me with Balo is that he does it in spurts. When I watch him, he'll be great when he's on the ball, and then you see him walking around and jogging and just not working for the team, basically. You know what I mean? So that worries me a little bit. But again, I think that he'll come in. He'll be loved because the Liverpool fans are very forgiving. Sometimes I think to their own detriment. I think that there's times where they should be a bit harder on the players, but they are very loving kind of thing and very forgiving. So that I think he'll love that. The gaffer's gonna love him, obviously. Like unless he pulls some crap. You know what I mean? Even then, they'll still back him up. Look at Suarez. So I think he'll rate that kind of aspect of it. But again, it's a gamble. You know what I mean? Like I said, we've gone for people like Levetsky and Cavani, Falcao, Remy, and it hasn't happened for various reasons. I'm not gonna lie. When he was linked with Arsenal a couple months ago, I was worried. I didn't want it to happen. There's a reason why. I didn't think he'd be the Arsenal kind of player. But the main reason why I didn't want to go Arsenal is because I was worried about what he would do on the pitch with that team, that technical team, and the players that they were bringing in, Sanchez, and they've already got Ozil and stuff like that. I was worried. You know what I mean? So there's a reason why I was worried. And now that he's come to my team that I support, I can't lie. I've got to be happy about it. You know what I mean? Even if it's a 1 to 2 season kind of thing, and he bangs in how many goals, whatever, at 16 million, I'm alright with that, because we're in the Champions League this year. Obviously, the league and the League Cups and stuff like that we got to go through. So it's like we've got enough games where we need a certain caliber of player and a certain depth in our squad. And I think Brendan Rodgers has dealt with that. I mean, the players he's brought in, I'm happy with. You know what I mean? He's done business the right way. So it just remains to be seen how it happens on the pitch, how he'll fit with Sturridge. These are all questions that need to be answered. And obviously it'll be answered in due time. I don't know. It's a good sign in my opinion. Tell me what you lot really think about it. Obviously, I've had people, like I say, come up to me and message me about it. So we'll see how it goes. But like you say, Mario Balotelli at 16 million, age 24, knowing what he can do on the pitch, and knowing what kind of gaffer that Rodgers is, and knowing that he's been through how many clubs already, and basically he's on his, like, if it's not his last chance, then he's got to be close to it.